cracking open a cold one with the tiny tattoo artist. Welcome back to Fill in the Gaps. I am Egg, and with me today is I'd say cult figure amongst Perth tattooing. Most people know you, I think, whether for good or for bad, mostly for good, I'd say, or just by association with Vesna. Today's guest is known for doing Simpsons tattoos, having purple smudges on his nose every now and then, slapping people on the back after they've got a fresh back tattoo, which I saw in person and heard in person. It's a decent slap. Aside from being a tattoo artist, he's also, I'd say, probably in the top 5 under 14 soccer coaches of all time.
Stop it.
He's up there. 2 championships, speak for itself. So today's guest is Ellis. How you going, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Have you got a bong cough or?
It's not a bong cough.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a bong cough.
Oh,
But
yeah, okay.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, good. Before we get into it, please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, share the show. Check out more of the podcast, fitgpod.com and at fitg_podcast. And thank you to the sponsors, Industry Tattoo Supply and SW Laser Tattoo Removal. But Ellis, you're here to strike a chord in some people's lives.
God.
And by people, I mean the same people that Vesna was having a go at. We'll touch on it a little bit. Won't be all that we talk about. It'll be most of what we talk about.
It's fun. I like talking about it.
But, I mean, even as of today, when we're recording, the 17th of February, there's been some shit going on today within the industry with a certain someone that doesn't deserve to be named, teaching a certain someone that doesn't deserve to be named how to not tattoo, really. No gloves, no wrapping machines. So I wanted to get kind of your take. We've got Vesna's take. I'm sure yours is very similar to hers, but what are the issues that are kind of coming into the industry, mostly in Perth, but kind of Australia-wide, to do with the tattoo courses and that kind of thing, and why are they dangerous from your perspective?
All right. Fucking strap in.
Here we go. Strap in, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, my issue isn't a financial issue because thankfully they are not doing fucking Simpsons tattoos, so I'm in the clear there. Mm-hmm. My issue is that they're selling a dream career to innocent people that don't know the difference. Mm-hmm. And you know, tattooing, it is that job that it's attractive to young people. It's attractive to people coming up because it looks like fun, it looks exciting, and it is all those things, but you have to go through the proper channels to do it. And these women, mainly women, I say women, there could be some guys there, but I'm not sure, but these girls are being sold a bullshit dream. And they're being told that this qualification will help you, and it's not helping fucking anybody. It's hindering them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, no one is going to be taken seriously with any form of qualification like that. And they're not being taught safe practices. And this is what happened today. So today we were all sent a photo of this dickhead in Clarkson who is tattooing people in a fucking crystal shop. No gloves, no bed wraps, no machine wraps, just fucking raw dogging it, like going for it. Posting photos of that, saying, I used to own a cosmetic tattoo company too, guys, and it's like, you obviously don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And these people are then teaching other people. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And it's just creating a fucking nightmare situation, and it sucks because these girls that want nothing more than to learn an amazing job, you know, back in the day, if someone had a shop front and they were advertising tattoos, you would assume they must know what they're fucking doing because they've got a shop, you know? So these young girls and that, they go into these beauticians, they look beautiful, they're all set up beautifully, and they see a sign saying, we offer tattoo courses. Why wouldn't they think that's legitimate?
That was exactly my point to Vesna, was when she was making it, I was like, I understand, like, everyone in the industry is like, that's fucking bad. But from a client perspective, I completely understand why these young people would be like, fuck yeah, I want to be a tattoo artist. I can learn that quickly.
And,
like,
you know, my anger's not at them. My issue's not with them. They've been sold a bullshit dream. Mm. And, you know, they've got good intentions, most of them. I doubt any of them are going, whoa, I'm going to fucking butcher people at home.
Yeah.
Like, they want to do a good job.
Yep.
And to the uninitiated, if you walk into a fucking beauty salon and there's a nicely written fucking thing like a menu saying, we'll teach you how to tattoo, why wouldn't they believe that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they believe that's legitimate? And that's what my fucking issue is. Because they're paying thousands of dollars to learn from someone who doesn't fucking know. And these girls are believing it. And then they're going out, and then we've got the issue of what they're actually doing to people's skin. And that's where I'm just like, fuck. Like, you know, the hygiene, the overworked tattoos, the blowouts, the, you know, just the fucking horrors. And, you know, that shit wouldn't fly in a professional studio, not a reputable one. There's some shitholes in Perth that would probably let it go. But in any reputable studio, even the first level apprentices don't do work like that because they are fucking taught better. They are taught that that is damage. That is fucking trauma to the skin.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's, again, a lot of what I post is because I want to rile Vesna up and set her go because she's the one that fucking knows how to go about all this stuff. I'm just like, man, in the background. But, you know, again, my issue isn't from like a industry like they shouldn't be fucking touched. My issue is that they're actually lying to people. They're ripping these young people off and they're selling them a dream that they don't have the right to give them. And it's going to turn potentially good people away from the industry. You know, some of those people may have gone on to be good tattoo artists and we'll never know because they're not going to be looked at properly because it's bullshit. Like,
I think what my generation and like people slightly younger than me need to understand is that this is 100% the new age version of getting an email saying, I'm a Nigerian prince. I'll give you this much money if you give me this much money. It is. Like, people, like, not to call you old, you are old, but not to call you old.
Thanks.
Like, your generation, maybe like a little bit older than you, were that generation that were falling for the emails, been like, hey, I need this much money, I'll send you this.
Hang on. Okay, yeah.
More, what I mean is your generation more than my generation. My generation are kind of on top of it. They're like, yep, we know this is a scam. The problem is
I feel
now my generation are seeing these, not realizing it's a scam.
But dude, the thing is, if it had happened when I was that age, we would have fallen for it too.
Exactly.
This is why it fucks me off because, you know, it looks legitimate.
Yeah.
And it's only if you've got a little bit of industry knowledge or if you know how things work that you would call that out.
Yeah.
Because and this is why I've got no anger towards the girls that have done these courses. It's not their fucking fault. Like, it's like if
they don't know any better.
Well, it's like if you walk into a restaurant and they've got all these items on the menu, but one of those items they're not allowed to cook. How the fuck are they supposed to know that? You know, they don't. That's why we're mouthing off about it. Because if we fucking whinge about it enough, then they will know about it.
Yep.
They'll at least be like, oh, okay, that's not right. Okay, we won't do that. I don't care about the financial end of things because it's not affecting me. I care about it for legitimate fine line artists. But again, my issue is the dishonesty involved. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair to sell these girls something that you can't give them. And it's not fair to basically tarnish their start into the industry if they did go the right way.
Yeah.
Because if anyone fucking walked into any reputable studio with a little fucking printout saying, go for it, they get laughed out of the shop.
Yeah.
And, you know, that sounds gatekeepery and wankerish, but it needs to be.
Yeah.
Because if you don't gatekeep a little bit, you've got cunts doing whatever they want.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Fuck, man, it's a nightmare. Again, you know, I think my angle's a little bit different to some because it doesn't affect me financially. I don't care about that. I care about the amount of girls that are getting sold bullshit at $300, $3,000 a pop, and that this bitch thinks she can fucking do it. And that's what bothers me. The entitlement of her to think that she can say, I created Fine Line, I did this. Fuck off, dude. Like, you're a fucking airhead. Please just
Even as a client, like, you guys must feel this feeling times a million, but as a client, seeing that she's posting saying, I teach people how to not like have blowouts in their work, how to not overwork the skin, blah, blah, blah. And it's a thing that I created. I was like, are you... That's like me coming on this podcast and being like, hey, I created podcasting.
Bro, I thought you fucking did. That's why I'm here.
Exactly. 2 years ago, I created podcasting. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then to take credit for that, that's insane.
Fill in the Gaps is proudly sponsored by Industry Tattoo Supply. Whether you're an artist looking to restock your equipment to keep the lights on, or a tattoo collector looking for a shirt or plushie to show off your love for body art, Industry Tattoo Supply has got you covered. Based right here in Perth, they pride themselves on delivering your tattoo gear and merch to the doorstep of your home or studio, which may be the same place depending on which artist you ask, in a timely manner. You can order directly from their website, industrytattoosupply.com.au, or check out their Instagram at industry_tattoo_supply for more information and blogs. Thank you to Industry Tattoo Supply for sponsoring the podcast. Industry Tattoo Supply. They put the artist first.
And again, look, if I was like one of those, fucking tattoo history staunch people, I'd get that as well. I understand that angle. Again, that's not my angle. My angle is you're a fucking snake oil salesman. You're selling people things that you can't give them. And that's not fair. Again, I don't give a fuck about fine line, but what if these people went on to be great artists in the career, great artists in the field? Like, what if they treat people correctly? What if they're fucking amazing? Like, there's some amazing fine line people out there. Like, they're going to get turned off by that. They're going to walk into a studio with their fucking little certificate and get laughed out and be like, nah, the tattoo industry sucks. Tattoo artists are assholes. And look, we are assholes, but not for that reason.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
Yeah. There's other reasons. There's definitely other reasons, yeah. And then aside from all the tattoo course stuff, there is another issue that me and Vesna didn't touch on. I'm not even going to say their name because it's not worth the trouble, but it rhymes with sink and link.
Oh, that fucking dickwit. All right, let me go again. Let's fucking go.
To get this whole issue we're talking about where you're damaging people's skin and that kind of thing, and then to put it in the hands of untrained people and say, hey, you might be good at this, and let's put you under the influence and see how good you are and up your confidence so that you're going to go buy a machine and start doing whatever you want to do in your spare time. It's a connected issue. It's not the same issue, but it's very much a connected issue.
It's not the same issue, and to be honest, it's more annoying in some ways, but it's less dangerous in some too.
Yeah.
So, the beauticians, they're actually hacking people up. That's a fucking serious issue. They're not insured properly. They're not doing the correct things. The dude is just a fucking cock.
Sink and blink.
Oh, you can learn it. I don't give a fuck. He's blocked me on everything anyway. Because I told him what a cunt I thought he was, so I don't care. But
there we go. That's one. That's cunt number one.
No, that's probably number 3 or 4.
Oh, okay, sure.
We've been slipping them in.
Fuck.
But no, basically, when I started getting sent that, again, people send me this shit and I'm just like, oh, okay, like, I'll just send that to people that'll actually do something about it, because I'm just fucking having a laugh most of the time. But that one annoyed me because one of my good friends and clients got suckered into that, and he didn't know. We're not upset with anyone that goes to these things. If I didn't tattoo for a job and someone offered me the potential to sit with my fucking best friends and tattoo shit, I'd be like, fuck yeah, that's a good idea. It's not the clientele that we've got the issue with. It's not their fault. They're just trying to support the industry in a weird way. They love tattooing. So so I get it from them. I'm not upset with them. It's the dickhead that organizes it. He sent me a message being like, I was a tattoo artist and I hurt my back. I had a look, man. That dude was not a fucking tattoo artist. He was a backyarder at best. His work was fucking horrific. And again, I don't like to talk about people's work, but just because he did a few backyard tattoos doesn't mean he can start doing what he's doing. No. Like, it's not fucking on. Again, though, I'm just a mouthpiece, dude. I just like to whinge about it. There's people listening, like, to these conversations that actually do something about it, and I fucking love them for it. I'm just in it for the memes. I just like posting Diddy memes and fucking having a laugh. But that actually does annoy me because, again, I think it's a really disrespectful way to kind of make money off an industry that you haven't supported in any way, and you can tell whoever you want, oh, I'm an ex-tattoo artist and that's why I can teach you how to... Dude, what the fuck? Like, you're not. Like, look at that shit, That's where I think maybe more regulations in the industry in WA is a good idea. Yeah. If it keeps fucking like that out, then do it,
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. And even, like, my partner, she's quite heavily tattooed as well, but she's not as involved in the industry as I am doing the podcast and everything. And when she saw, or when I showed her whatever it was, the Sink and Blink whole thing, she was...
Fucking say it!
she was like, oh, that sounds cool. I was like, to someone that knows what they're doing and knows that that's all that is, and there's nothing that you can, like, you shouldn't be going from that and being like, fuck, I'm good at this, and then taking the next step. If you're just there to just have a good time and understand that's all that it is, I'm like, sure, it's a good idea, but...
I don't think there's an issue with people wanting to do it and doing it. That's not the thing.
Yeah.
It's this dickhead trying to pull money out of an industry he hasn't supported. That's what my problem is. Yeah. It's gross. That's the issue.
Yeah.
And it's too easy for people to just be like, oh, well, I used to do tattoos, so I'll do what I fucking want. It's like, no, you can't. Yeah. Like, that's not how it fucking works. Yeah. And yeah, you can, but is anyone going to take it seriously? Fuck no. You know, are you going to get any respect from the tattoo community? No, you're not.
No.
Like, you know, people take this shit seriously. We've dedicated our lives to it. And I'm not saying that means people aren't welcome. What I'm saying is, don't fucking disrespect it. Like, do the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, like... Yeah, it's different now. You don't have to go work for some bikey dickhead who's going to stand over you. That's well and good. You still should go through the correct avenues. Yeah. You know, and again, I feel like that's just a money grab using tattooing. Yeah. And you know, I've just got an issue with people trying to pull money from something they've never supported. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And when I was talking to my missus about it, because she's studying to be a paramedic, and when I was trying to explain to her like the dangers of it, I was like, okay, imagine someone brought out a thing where you can go have drinks with your friends and you learn how to do like a minor surgery or something. And then she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, okay, so you do that. And then you're like, oh, I know how to do surgery now. And then something happens to you and you're at home. You're like, don't worry, I got this covered. And you try to do it yourself and fuck yourself up rather than going to a hospital. I'm like, that's what this is. It's giving, aside from the money grab side of things, I'm like, it's giving confidence to people that they can do something they haven't been trained in.
There was a reason that the general public weren't allowed tattoo machines just to have at home. And it wasn't because we were worried about losing money. It's because the amount of young girls I've had to fix fucking tattoos on that won't go to the beach with the fucking bikini on because they're horrified by what's on their body. And that's not just me. You could talk to every reputable tattoo artist in Perth and say, how many times have you gone over something that was fucked, done by someone who had no business tattooing in the first place? Yeah. And, you know, it affects people's fucking lives every day. You know, they don't want to wear certain things. They don't want to, you know, the last one I did was a moon on one of my friend's chests, and, you know, young girl had no reason to not want to, you know, wear fucking open shirts and stuff like that. Was horrified by it and refused to. And it's because some fucking retard did this tattoo with no proper training. Again, I could rant on this shit for hours. I really could. I was like, I'm going to not rant and not have a whinge and stuff.
Hey, that's what the podcast is for.
It's feeling good.
You need something to whinge about. You always need something to whinge about.
I have plenty to whinge about.
Exactly, good. That's why we brought you here. And then the other thing within the tattoo industry, before we kind of go off tattooing, is about like the West Oz Festival and how that is doing such a great job at like supporting local artists and Australia-wide artists. And then from that, I know you wanted to also, whether you want to tie them together or if it's two separate things, I know you wanted to touch on how it's becoming more of a trend for people to like do more guest spots rather than having a permanent spot. So, floor is yours, sir.
Well, as far as the West Oz Expo goes, it was done the way they should be done. Yeah. And, you know, Angus and his family did such an amazing job. You know, for years, I've wished that we had an expo that was, you know, that cared about the Perth scene. Yeah. And the other expo did not give a fuck about the Perth scene. Yeah. They packed it full of Indo shops, which again doesn't bother me from a financial point of view, but I understand why it upsets everybody. But they just didn't support us. You know, we were basically thrown all the shit at the end. It became a fucking laughing stock. It really did. It was a nightmare. We did it, you know, and I did it in the decline. And I was like, this is a joke. Like, this is... So Angus and Tess, they realised that the Perth scene would benefit greatly from a Perth organised expo. Yeah. And, you know, artists supporting artists. And it wasn't about how big your shop is. It wasn't about how much money you can pay for a whole row of fucking booths and, you know, covering it with your fucking merchandise and shit. And, you know, it took the shopping centre-ness out of the expo. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it made it about tattooing again. And everybody that was involved, it was like a fucking massive circle jerk for the tattoo industry because everybody was like, oh, wait a minute, I fucking love you guys. Yeah. Like, I haven't seen you in 3 years. Why? You know, why? And it was kind of doing that expo that led me to be like, well, look, I'm fortunate that I've got 2 permanent homes to tattoo in. You know, the guys at King's Court are awesome. The guys at Billingsgate are my fucking family. Like, but I've got friends that I've had for a decade that work in different studios in Perth. Why can't I go work with them for a week? And I thought to myself, I fucking can.
Yeah.
Like, and then people like Dreadpool Emma does it. There's multiple artists that are doing that. And, you know, again, you should always kind of support the studio you're based at, and that's a given. But times have changed, and artists are a lot more independent. And, you know, basically, if I decide I want to go work with my friends, no one's going to fucking tell me no.
Yeah.
Like, no way. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go where I want. Like, as long as I'm doing the right thing, I'm being respectful and I'm paying the correct amounts that I'm saying I am, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a great thing that's happened in the Perth industry. And I don't know about Australia-wide, but Perth definitely.
Yeah.
Because it will benefit shops if they open their doors to that too.
Yeah.
Because not only do their artists feel comfortable guesting around and feel safer when they're home, but you'll get other high-profile artists that are willing to come to your studio and do a few days. And that's great cross-promotion. You know, that's how people find out about different studios. Because an artist might have, you know, 10K followers that go, oh, shit, I didn't realize there was a shop there. And then they've got friends that live down there.
Yep.
And they say, hey, you fucking heard about this place? You know, it's beneficial to everybody to have artists kind of spreading the love a bit. And I'm really happy that I've kind of annoyed everyone to a level where they put up with me.
Yeah.
But they're happy to have me come and tattoo there because I bring my own clients, I bring my own stuff. I make dick jokes for 3 days, I fuck off. It's quite chill, you know.
I think you made about 3 days worth of dick jokes while I was there one day at Billingsgate.
I couldn't help it. I was just, you know, it was you in the room.
Yeah.
But no, I had to catch up because I haven't been there for months, you know, so I had to fucking get him in. But no, seriously, I'm very lucky that I have the situation that I have and that I've got friends in shops that I can go, hey, you guys feel like putting up with me for a few days? And in most cases, they're happy to, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I love the Perth scene. It's always welcomed me. It's always made me feel good enough. And, you know, it feels good to kind of be able to be like, hey, I like you. Do you want to work together for a few days? Like, yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
You know, like none of this fucking, there's no ownership involved. You're not owned by anybody, you know. Loyalty is important, of course it is, but there's no reason you can't do what makes you happy. And for me, tattooing with the people I love makes me happy. And I'm old enough now that I'm fucking prioritizing that.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good to be able to be like, nah, I'm going to do this. And this is going to benefit me and my family, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And it works to an extent. So, you know, I'll continue doing it.
Good call.
Yeah.
Very good call. Are you doing West Oz?
Of course. Yeah, fucking oath, man.
Happy days.
Yeah, I kind of drifted off that, but West Oz Festival is brilliant. I'm 100% in every year purely because it was run for the reasons I want to do an expo. You know, yeah, obviously there's a financial aspect, but I really don't think that was a focus. I think that the focus was we've been left in the dark without it. The expo, even though at that point that bullshit expo still existed, we knew it was fucking on its way out because that kind of had been stealing money off people for years. So we all knew that's why most of us didn't do it that last year. And, you know, it's not that Angus and that swung in and took anything from them. They came in and offered us what we all wanted, you know, which was purely a tattoo-driven expo. There was no bullshit. There was no cash grabs. There was no fucking just, you know, you've been to an expo. You know what they're fucking like.
Yeah.
It's a shit show.
Yeah.
Like,
And even when I had Angus and Tess on before that, their whole thing was like, we're not trying to compare. It's not this expo versus
there
this
was
expo.
no comparison, but obviously human nature is you will compare.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to compare because I'm not involved in either.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, man, that other one was a fucking piece of shit. Like it
One's
totally was. Like,
for people who love the industry and everything it's about, and the other one's a cash grab for a guy that's running it.
You know, they're tattooers. That Lispy fuck isn't the guy from the other egg. Oh, fuck it, I'll name him. Kev Mack isn't a tattooer, you know what I mean? He's just taken what he can. And again, you know, he's dead in the industry anyway. No one will ever respect that dickhead again. But what Angus and Tess did was more important than just having the expo. What they did was they showed the Perth scene that we can be a fucking bit more unified. Like, and why shouldn't we be? We're all basically the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're all doing the same shit. We're all the same kind of people. Like, you know, especially with them, their parents, he's coaching his kids basketball. You know, we've got a lot in common. Why shouldn't we all be dealing with each other? You know, and I love it. I think it's fucking great.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. The more friends I've got in this job, the better.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what keeps you going. That's the reason I've got a job.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, people like The Simpsons, but to be honest, if it wasn't for people like, you know, Sammy and Maggie and that, you know, pushing me the way they did, like, you know, you need your friends. So the more I have, the better.
And that's where I met you, actually, for the first time.
At the expo,
yeah? Because you walked past and I was like, you're a Simpsons guy, right? You're like, haha, Simpsons guy. And I was like, okay, fucking acting like everyone doesn't know you as the Simpsons guy. This fucking
Look, man, I'm very fucking lucky, I'll say that, because I genuinely do love The Simpsons. Like, I have since I was a little kid. So the fact that I've been able to pay my mortgage by doing Simpsons tattoos, it will never not be amazing to me. Like, I'm so appreciative. I'm so happy that people are as fucking dumb as me and love getting them, because it's like, you know, when you do a tattoo like that, although 80% of the population might look at it and think, oh, that's fucking stupid, why are you getting that? To that person that loves that scene or that moment so much, like, me and we bond, you know, because I'm just like, because I watch it, I still watch it every fucking day, you know, I'm like 41, I'm watching that shit all the time, but like, you'll bond over that part. Or you'll see brothers and sisters bond over a part that they loved when they were young, or, you know, and it's amazing that just one show has got that much fucking, like, reference in it that people are willing to get tattooed. So many good moments, so many heartfelt ones, so many fucking ridiculous ones. I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
And, you know, to get to do them on the scale that I do, man, I never thought that'd happen. Like, you know, that would have been the dream, but I just didn't think that was possible. And it's probably 80% of what I do, which is fucking wild. Like, but it's great. I'm so appreciative of it, and just want to keep it rolling. Like, I do other stuff, but obviously, you
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, a bit of South Park. Disney for the old girls, you know, like a bit of that Disney. But no, like, I'm keen to do most things other than realism and shit like that, because why would I do a shit job or something when one of my friends in the booth next to me...
And just refer them,
well, exactly. Like, you don't work with people like Sammy and start taking on jobs that she's going to fucking annihilate, and I'm going to be like... Like, stay in your lane as far as I'm concerned. Like, I know what I'm proficient at. I'm just going to stick to doing that. I don't have that kind of art ego where I'm like, oh, I've got to do this. You know, I try different things, but I'm not going to try them on people's skin. You know, I'll stick with what I know.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough. Just off the Simpsons thing, I do have a gift for you.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, there is a price tag on the back. Please don't look at that. But there you go. I think it's a box of socks, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because I've got lots of very funny and wacky and weird socks.
Very nice.
So
thank you very much.
No worries at all.
That's
no worries
awesome.
at all.
Appreciate
Simpsons. Simpsons socks.
I will wear them to work tomorrow.
Love it. I'm expecting a picture. Because yeah, I've got heaps of socks, and I swear I had like heaps of pairs of Simpson socks. And I was looking through my drawer to try to find some to wear, and I was like, do I have any Simpson socks? And I definitely have one pair, but I just wore them the other day. So now we're rocking the Silly Goose on the Loose.
Nice.
With the slides. So you're welcome. Free feed pics for everyone. But yeah, so with the whole 90s kind of vibe, I guess Simpsons is 90s vibe, right? Like I watched
the good ones are, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anything beyond kind of 2000 starts getting a bit shit.
Okay, well, let's just settle with my generation. Okay, we tried our best.
Oh, no, I meant anything Simpsons-wise. Don't worry. There's still some good in the 2000s. Like, there's some
Me?
issues. Oh, yeah, of course. That's what I meant.
Yeah. I'll take it. But yeah, like I wasn't a massive Simpsons fan growing up, but I definitely watched it and I fucking love it. It's like one of the best shows ever, and there's Simpsons tattoos that I want to get. But what was it about the Simpsons and that kind of cartoonish style that got you into tattooing that? Was it just purely because you liked the Simpsons and that was it? Was it the art style of it? Was it a bit of both?
It was a bit of both. Like, I was always drawn, even just as like a fan of tattoos before I even picked up a machine, because I had, you know, most of my body was tattooed before I tattooed. And I always kind of gravitated towards artists with really solid bold colors, like, and clean emulation. You know, like being able to take an image that looks like it's been screenshotted from the fucking show and put that on someone's skin impressed me. That was something that I always was really shocked by. That, you know, there was artists like, you know, Chris 51 and stuff that I'd just see their stuff and be like, holy shit, it's a sticker. Like that's not on someone's skin. And that's always what I kind of wanted. So when I was learning, I was lucky enough to kind of be stubborn enough to figure color out.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sorry to anyone I tattooed in that first 12 months because fucking hell. But you know, we got there in the end. And I do have a few clients still from back then, and they're still loyal. So you know, they're not coming back for the dick jokes, or maybe some of them are.
I think mostly, yeah.
But no, so it was a bit of that. But to be honest, dude, like my books from school, my skateboards, everything had something from The Simpsons drawn on it. I you know, that Ninja Turtles, like Jurassic Park, Terminator, like I was pretty obsessed with The Simpsons above all, purely because I was a comic nerd and I just loved the way it was animated. It was still grim sometimes, like they could make it scary, but overall it was sweet.
Yeah.
And, you know, in those first 10 seasons, it's essentially a show about a family and their problems. And I just love that. Like the biggest issues are, you know, something's happening in the house or Bart's fucking up at school. Or it's just like it was a sweet kind of, you know, sweet family that I enjoyed kind of watching. And from there, yeah, I just never, like most things, I just didn't really grow up, and I've just been watching those same fucking 10 seasons over and over and over again. But, you know, it's come to a point now where, like, my son, he's nearly 14. He's watched The Simpsons while he's having his dinner every night of his fucking life. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't know any difference. So he's now carrying it on, you know, and he loves it. So that makes me happy. But again, man, it's not lost on me how weird it is that most of my career has been based around this one cartoon. But I'm fucking stoked about it.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't change a thing. Like, you know, again, it's fun to tattoo and it's satisfying, and, you know, people struggle with some of the colors involved, and I'm lucky that I've been able to figure them out.
Yeah.
But to be honest, the best thing about it is hanging out with someone who loves that so much they're willing to wear it on their body forever. Like, that's my sort of fucking dude, man. Like, if you're willing to get a Simpsons tattoo, we're already friends. Like, because, you know, other tattoo artists, they have to tattoo all walks of life. You get your tattoo whores and your big muscle-bound dickheads and rah. I just tattoo dudes like me, like dudes and people like me. Because if you're willing to get a Simpsons tattoo, you don't take life too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you've got a sense of humor. And if, you know, you got a fucking Mr. Sparkle on your arm. I just saw that. Like,
yeah.
But again, you know, I can see someone walking, or someone books in with me and I'm like, okay, they're not going to be a fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? Like, at very least, we can talk Simpsons, and they think it's funny enough to get it tattooed on them. It gives me a kind of way to be more personal with my clients, and to be honest, that's why I end up being fucking friends with most of them, the long-termers, because they're just the same as me. They're just nerds, you know, like I get it, you know, I get it for sure. Like, they might get looked at weird by their parents and shit, but I don't understand. Like,
who cares?
Fuck, I don't.
Who gives a fuck?
My dad fucking loves it.
Exactly. I was just going to touch on, because I didn't realize that your son was like 14 or almost 14.
He's 13 now. He's 13. Almost 14. He's a good lad, though.
Yeah,
he's a good boy.
No, I don't know him, but
he is.
Must be. Obviously, I'm sure he sees like at least a little bit of the work that you do with like Simpsons tattooing.
Well, he follows me on Instagram now, which means I have to say cunt so much less because I don't like saying that around him.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever really said it around him. But
hopefully he doesn't listen to the podcast then.
He will.
Oh,
but that's okay, because again, he's heard me say it a million times.
Okay. What's his name?
James.
Sorry, James.
So I've got James, who's 13. I've got Haley, who's just turned 1.
Yep.
And they're the best. But I know everyone says, "Oh, my kids are the best." My kids are the fucking best.
Okay.
I'll fight cunts for that. My kids are the best. He's 14. He's never really even been told off. He's never spoken back to us. He draws. He plays his football. He hangs out with his mates. He's had a girlfriend for nearly a year.
Good on him.
Which is wild for 13, you know? I'm just like, Jesus Christ. But he's a legend, so couldn't be happier with him. Yeah, he's a good lad.
So with how much that he does see, because obviously I've had people on the podcast where they've got kids, but their kids are like 3-4 years old, and I kind of ask the question, how much of your work do they see? It's kind of hard because even if they do see it, they probably don't remember it. Your son being quite a bit older, how much does he see outside of following you on Instagram now? And then does he ever like critique what you're doing? Does he ever say that like he likes this and he'd like to see you do this certain scene or anything like that?
The only time he's ever really fucking burned me was whenever I do anything that's anime, because he's a big anime fan. He's dropped off it a bit now because, you know, got his girlfriend and shit. Got
to be a cool kid.
But he was obsessive for a few years there, and if I used a slightly wrong color tone, or if it was like the color was sitting a bit bloody or something,
you're copping it.
But he wouldn't whinge at me. He'd look at me right in the eyes and be like, "Do you have a bit of trouble with that, Red?" And I'm just like, "Fuck off, man."
I like him already. I like this kid.
I'm like, that hurts so much more.
Yeah.
Because like you're fucking being sweet about it because you don't want to hurt my feelings. I'm like, you little bastard. But no, like the thing with James is I was an apprentice. He's been like, I started my apprenticeship when he was like 2.5. So he has been around it his whole life.
Yeah.
Even at the age of 4 or 5, he could walk through the studio and be like, they're using a coil, that's a rotary, they're doing dot work. You know, he would draw his own flash sheets, like with Batman and shit on them. But he'd like organize them like a flash sheet, you know, because he's so used to kind of hanging out at the shop and drawing with the apprentices and stuff like that. Like it just was fun for him. He has said that he wants to tattoo when he's older. He's got to fucking finish school long before I even consider that, or I'll blacklist him from the industry. But you know what? He's the kind of kid that he's driven. He's a naturally good artist as it is.
Yeah.
And when he loves something, he will learn how to do it.
Yeah.
You know, so if he finishes his schooling and he does get some qualifications behind him too, then I'll teach him.
Yeah.
My little girl probably not. Because by the time she's able to tattoo, I'll probably be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen in the industry in the next fucking 17 years? Like,
oh man, everyone will be getting tattooed by robots anyway. So,
probably,
you know,
or under anesthesia.
And I'll just be going on podcasts being like, when I fucking tattooed people, we did this and that. Like,
back in my day.
Which is essentially what I'm doing today, to be honest.
I was going to say, that's pretty much what you've been doing this whole fucking time. Back in my day, we didn't have tiny tattoo courses. You're talking about the 2000s being the best.
Tiny tattoos, what? You mean apprentice tattoos? Like, that's what you fucking had to do. Like, but again, you know, I'm not trying to take anything away from the people that do them correctly, because the reason I don't do fine line is because it's a massive pain in the ass. It's not because it's too easy for me or it's below me. It's because it's fucking hard to do it without blowing people out. You know, that's what's so dangerous about these people fucking doing it. Don't get me started on them cunts again.
I mean, just like quickly chuck this in before we have a little break. But when I made that reel that kind of like popped off a little bit about like tiny tattooers and all of that, at the start of it, I was kind of like, look, I'm not throwing any shade at fine line artists or fine line tattoos.
Not legitimate ones.
I've got fine line tattoos and they're fucking hard to do. And even people that know how to do them and do them perfectly, they don't heal very well.
No,
like because
there's nowhere to hide though. That's the thing. There's no shading coming off it.
Yeah.
Like you can fuck a line in a neotrad tattoo and no one would ever know.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking shaded off it a million times.
Yeah.
If you fuck a line up on some 18-year-old girl's little whale shark on her ribs, you're gonna see that shit, you know? And it's not, to me, go to someone who's good at it.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as what I was saying before about realism. Like, there's enough tattoo artists in Perth that specialise in certain things that you don't have to go to a beautician. Like, yeah, you might save $100, but you're going to pay more than that to get it lasered off. You know, you're going to get...
You're going to have to hit up Hayden, and he's going to have to charge you a little bit more.
Oh, so maybe we should... Look, go get those shit tattoos, because then you can go to Southwest Laser and get it fucking lasered off, and they're great people, and they'll look after you.
And then right here, I'll cut to the SW Laser ad that I'm going to chuck in. Yeah. Fill in the Gaps is proudly sponsored by SW Laser Tattoo Removal. Have you got a tattoo that seemed like a good idea at the time but hasn't aged well? A piece of art that has always been anything but elegant? Or maybe a memory that you regret etching into your skin in the first place? That's right, people with their ex's name tattooed on them. I'm talking to you. SW Laser Tattoo Removal are here to help you. They use the highest quality equipment, including medical grade lasers, to ensure that your skin can say see you later to the ink that you regret
With shops located in Fremantle and West Leederville, SW Laser Tattoo Removal is the place to go for all your tattoo removal needs and is trusted by tattoo collectors and artists all over Perth. To book your free consult and quote, message them on Instagram at SW Laser Tattoo Removal. That's at SW Laser Tattoo Removal, and say goodbye to your permanent regrets today.
Yeah.
Nah, look, legitimately, I fucking do love those guys.
Yeah.
They are great.
Legends.
Because, they're fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
They're doing it properly. They care about the client's self-confidence and the way they feel. And, Hayden, man, there's no better dude on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fucking cartoon character. That dude's so nice. Like, I love those guys. They're one of the few laser places that, they team up with us at Billingsgate a lot. People used to be like, oh, why have you got laser stickers at the front? Why are you giving people laser stickers? Isn't that, ironic? And it's like, no, that's to laser off your shit tattoos before you come get tattooed here.
Yeah.
That's not saying we're doing shit.
I did that whole series with them where it was like, go get some laser and then go get a good tattoo over the top.
And don't get me wrong, I don't want to get laser.
Have you ever had laser?
No, because I live with my mistakes. No, it's because I'm a pussy, and I didn't like getting tattooed in the first place. I'm definitely not going to go get it off now. But again, I don't have anything I hate to the point where I'd want to get it lasered off. Because to be honest, Egg, I don't care what I look like anymore. My missus is all right. She's happy enough, you know.
Yeah.
Still got my kids happening and stuff. It's fine. I can give up now.
Yeah.
Grow my mustache and just fucking wear my short shorts.
It's a sexy moustache as well. So.
Dude, it went white. It went from ginger to white instantly.
Mine stayed ginger, so, you know.
Yeah, well, give it 10 years, Egg. Mine was once a healthy ginger too, and now I look like fucking Santa.
Well, mine used to be like brownish black, and now it's gone ginger,
Bro,
so...
I never had that normal brownish black beard. It went from bumfluff to ginger to white. And I put that down to my best friend is a ginger, and I've teased him since fucking high school about it, and I think that was life paying me back. They were like, all right, think you're fucking clever?
I think it's also just being a white guy, because my natural hair color is like almost black, like dark brown, and then this is just ginger, and I think it's just like a white guy. Like, I mean, I've got Irish roots and English roots and everything.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's
I'm
probably
English,
just that.
and I was kind of born right near Scotland, and there's heaps of rangers up there.
Yeah.
So
Fucking rangers. All right, we'll do this last little bit, some rapid fire questions and a would you rather, and then I'll let you get out of here. So, first rapid fire question. Who is your biggest role model or inspiration outside of tattooing or family?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnie.
Yeah.
Any reason?
There's multiple reasons. There's Commando. There's
Okay.
Predator.
Okay.
There's Terminator 1 and 2.
Okay.
There's
Being
True Lies.
buff?
There's just being a almost illiterate fucking dude from Austria that managed to fuck his way into government. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, he's just the best. So,
Fair.
obviously I've modelled my physique after him.
Well, I did notice. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Maybe what he looks like now,
Yeah.
but not in his fucking heyday. But no, I guess I like him. When I was a kid, I had a budgie called Arnie.
Nice.
I had a Terminator 2 school bag. I've still got a shitload of fucking action figures. I used to have an Arnold Schwarzenegger block mount that hung above my bed in my bedroom, and my ex was like, I keep making eye contact with him. We've got to take it. I was like, fuck off, it stays. Fucking stays.
Fuck off, it's Arnie.
It stayed too.
Okay.
And you've seen...
She left, it stayed.
Yeah, well, you know, there was no comparison there. Fuck. But you've seen Billingsgate. We've got the life-size cutout in there and stuff.
Have seen that.
And quite often I'd be tattooing and just make eye contact with him and be like, in a different life, Arnie. Not in this one, but...
In a different life.
Yeah, you never know.
What could have been?
Twins too. Could have been me and him instead of DeVito. I'm a little bit taller than DeVito, but not much.
A little bit. Second question. What is your favourite ice cream flavour?
I got this caramel popcorn flavored ice cream once, and it was good. Or Ben and Jerry's did, like Frosties, the cereal?
Yes.
They did a Frosties flakes and milk ice cream, and it sounds a bit odd, but it was fucking so good.
Okay.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
That was good.
Because whenever I do the ice cream flavour, I always ask it as two parts. I ask, like, if there's a shop that has every ice cream flavour ever, what are you choosing? Those are obviously your answers.
Yeah.
If it's just like basic ice cream flavours, what's your choice there? So it's got like the common 15 flavours or whatever.
I I like vanilla, I guess.
You fucking bitch. You absolute bitch with no balls.
Look, I don't mind the other ones, but the thing is, right, most brands of vanilla are going to be okay. Like, if no matter what the brand is...
That's what pisses me off when people say vanilla, though.
No, but their vanilla across the board would be okay. But some brands' chocolate ice cream tastes like fucking dog shit.
True.
And some brands' strawberry ice cream has that fucking red dye in it that's made out of bugs. And I don't particularly want to eat either of those fucking things. Or the beaver asshole shit that they make raspberry flavour out of. Like, that shit has scared me off. So give me fucking vanilla.
So what about Skittles? Do you like Skittles?
I do, but I refuse to accept the fact that shit's in them, okay?
Because that's all insects.
Boy, don't fucking bring Skittles into this.
Too fucking late, okay? Because that's my beef with people that say vanilla, is that it's just a safe option. There's nothing overwhelmingly good or bad about vanilla. It's just a flavour.
That's why it's good.
No, it's not. Safe. That's why it's average. That's why it's fine.
But
the reason strawberry is so fucking good is because it's so sweet. The reason that chocolate is so good is just because it tastes so nice.
Sometimes, though. Sometimes.
Yeah, but you got to be willing to take that risk.
I don't think so. I would rather a life of mediocrity than a life of jumps and falls.
I've had one bad strawberry ice cream before in my life. The rest have been phenomenal.
Where the fuck are you getting your ice cream from?
Cockroaches, I don't know. I don't know where it fucking comes from, but okay, vanilla, so pussy.
Oh man, vanilla all the way.
Okay, you bitch. And then if you could have any superpower, what superpower would you want?
Is it cheating to go for like a Dr. Manhattan thing where you can do fucking everything and have the big blue slong? Because, you know, I could use a bit of help in that area. And you can walk around Starkers. You can do what you want. You can go to other dimensions. Like, that's all the powers in one.
I've got many questions to start off. First one being, who or what is Dr. Manhattan?
Ooh, all right. Let's nerd it up. Watchmen.
Don't know what that is either.
Okay, so it was a comic series and a movie.
Back in the 40s? Or?
No. In more your time.
Okay.
I think it came out in the 2000s.
Okay.
The movie did anyway.
Okay.
But it was just like a bit of a grittier kind of version of the superhero movies.
Okay.
A little bit more gory and shocking, I guess.
Right.
But Dr. Manhattan's this dude that gets like fucking blown up in like a nuclear accident, like with a particle accelerator or some shit. You know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it basically fucking disintegrates him, and he kind of reforms as like this fucking dude that can just do everything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
He's just so being selfish, I'd say him because he can do all that shit.
Fair.
You know, there's nothing he can't do. Like he can fucking bend matter. He does what he wants. I always liked Wolverine when I was a kid, just because you can't fucking hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to tear through you. So that'd be number 2, I guess.
But if you could only choose one of Doctor, because I don't know, I'm assuming he's got multiple superpowers.
Yeah, but you can't really label him because he can just do fucking whatever.
Fucking label him then.
Well, that's where I think he's a bit of a cheat, because he just does whatever he wants, you know?
I'm not allowing that.
All right, well, fuck him off then. We'll go with...
But also, just quickly, is he like related to any, like, because obviously you got like Batman, Joker, that kind of thing. Is he related to anyone? Is he Marvel, DC?
No. So the Watchmen world was its own. It was its own thing. So they had their own characters, their own kind of stories going on. It obviously was a bit of a dark parody of like that. Not as bad as what The Boys is, because that show's fucked up.
Don't know what that is
oh
either,
man, if you want something fucked, read The Boys. That's hectic.
I don't really read.
Yeah.
I'm scared of books. If anyone gets that reference, then fuck Jack Mac. But
well, you can watch it because it is a show, and the show's fucked too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Watchmen's a bit darker. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really read many comics anymore, to be honest, because I do everything on my fucking iPad like every other cunt does. But
fucking iPad kids.
Flip got me a book for Christmas that is like every Simpsons Halloween comic ever. So like from the fucking 90s all the way up.
Nice.
And they've got like ones drawn by like Lemmy from fucking Motorhead drew one, and like a few famous artists have done ones. And that's really cool. But it's like a big ass book, so I've only just kind of started flicking through it.
Okay.
But as far as reference for work goes, it's a fucking goldmine, because the Simpsons images in that no one's ever seen. You know, I've never seen. So that's cool.
So your superpower would be eating donuts like Homer.
I'm trying to think of what I'm good at. I'm pretty handy on the toilet, I reckon. My missus would say that, but But no,
ability to shit on command.
I like Wolverine's regeneration
Okay.
stuff. So he's basically immortal.
Okay.
You know, he ages slowly, but you can't really kill him. He'll just kind of bounce back, and that'd
It'll
be
just
cool.
still fuck you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the opposite of what I am now, because I feel like, you know, a hard push in the wrong direction would probably end me.
Yeah.
So,
Same, to be honest. I'm fucking almost 20 years younger than you, and same.
can
Like
you stop bringing that up? Can't fuck.
I had to put like the super strength deep heat on my legs before I came here because my legs are so sore from standing on them the other day.
No, see, the way I combat that is 10 years of minimal physical activity.
Yeah.
With
So
tattoo.
I haven't started very well with that. Fucking, I'm an idiot, but we already knew that. Okay, before we get into the would you rather, I do have a blind ranking for you. Do you know how blind rankings work?
I'll figure it out.
So there's 5 options, and you just got to rank them from best to worst.
Okay.
But once you choose where they go from 1 to 5, you can't change it again.
Okay, go on.
So, for example, if I said ice cream flavors and then I said vanilla, and you put it 1, and then I
can't
said
change
and then
it
I
to-
said the popcorn one, you can't put that one. Now.
Okay.
You got to just base your list off that.
All right, go.
Cool. Simpsons characters. So first we've got Apu.
4.
Okay. Not a big fan.
Yeah, but there's fucking heaps of characters.
Okay.
Like, I've got to leave it open for some of my actual favorites.
Okay,
Like,
fair.
I like Apu.
Fair.
I don't like how easily his voice actor caved when people put pressure on him for not being Indian, which
Fair.
is fucking ridiculous. But I've got
That's
no
what
beef.
acting is, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. But I've got no beef with the character. He's funny. He makes me laugh. I like his songs.
Okay.
You know? He's a hard-working Indian man. Fucking money behind him. Nice car.
We love it.
Yeah, gotta love
Cool.
Apu.
Okay. Second is Abe Simpson.
3.
Okay. So you've got 1, 2, and 5 open.
Mm-hmm.
Again, not the biggest fan, but not a hater.
He's one of my favorite of the Simpsons family.
Okay.
Because I probably
Relate to
I
him?
relate to him
Yeah,
the most,
yeah, yeah.
especially his fucking long rants, which you've now learned.
Real?
Yeah.
Oh, didn't know.
But no, I like Abe.
Okay.
He's made me laugh over the years.
Okay.
He's a good one.
Cool. Santa's little helper.
I'll put him 5 purely because I can't put him above Apu or Grandpa.
Okay.
So although I normally prefer dogs to people,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no problem with Santa's little helper at all, the rules of this game.
The rules are the rules.
The rules of this game mean he's number 5.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Hank Scorpio.
Oh, fucking 2.
2?
Like, you gotta love Hank, man. He's
Okay.
everyone's dream boss.
Okay.
Like, fucking hell.
Got a
like,
flamethrower.
He's just the man. He bought home a fucking football team, you know, like.
This is true. Wasn't a good one, but
No, but you know, fucking hell, man. I'd take West Coast at the moment. I'd fucking give me anything, mate.
that means your number 1 spot is Krusty the Clown.
Oh, mate, easy.
Happy days.
Fucking easy.
So
I
you
would have
got-
picked him for 1 anyway.
Krusty, Hank Scorpio,
Grandpa.
Abe, Apu, Santa's little helper.
Look, I'm sad about Santa's little helper. I feel like he should probably be higher, but
Would you go like him 3 and then the other 2 bump down, or
Nah, I'd probably go him 4 because I love Grandpa.
okay?
There's that quote that fucking I fell 10,000 feet onto a bunch of jagged rocks. Folks were tougher in those days. I was jitterbugging that very night. Just fucking, he says this off kilter shit that I just fucking love, you know.
Yeah.
And Krusty, man, like, you know, Krusty's a character that you love as a kid because he's funny and he's off his tits. And then as you get older, you kind of realize how dark some of the things he says are.
This is true.
And then you get a little older and you realize that Krusty's got a coke habit. And you realize that fucking Krusty bangs hookers and Krusty does all this shit that like you don't really think about when you're a kid. If I had to pick any favorites off that list, it'd probably be I like Mayor Quimby for the same kind of reasons.
Okay.
Otto, Lenny. They'd probably be my... Lenny and Otto are up there.
Lenny Black, Carl White.
Yeah. I haven't tattooed that yet because, you know, you have to get it on your palm and that's a
Yeah.
fucking nightmare.
Yeah. So if you had to, who's your favorite overall character in Simpsons?
Lenny.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Lenny, purely because
He's the man.
there's just something about him that makes me laugh. Like the whole fucking thing, getting things in his eye, just his dumb face, like at the Oscars where he's like, Just there's so many moments that from Lenny that make me laugh.
Yeah.
I'd have to say him. But then again, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, but there's fucking Mr. Burns, and then there's this, and that. And this is the thing with The Simpsons, man.
You love them all for different
it
reasons.
Never stops.
Yeah.
One thing I don't love is when people send me fucking naked pictures of Marge Simpson. Fucking stop doing that, people. Like, she's a mother.
Wasn't it? Was it you that did the
No,
Marge?
that was different.
Here we go. On the defensive.
That was a Dave the Robot design, which was fucking great, by the way, and I had his permission to tattoo it. But it's not an actual vagina, it's Homer's face, and it's not a sexual image. What bothers me is when they sexualize her, and I'm just like, come on, man, that's Bart's mum.
Same with Lois from Family Guy. I've never understood
like
that. I don't really understand it.
No, it weirds me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because I tattoo Simpsons, I get a lot of them. People send me like
odd
picture of Homer banging Marge. I'm just like, no.
Like, people are into that, but
stop it.
Yeah, go to someone else.
I just want to eat my fucking vanilla ice cream and fucking watch my kids' shows in peace, you dirty cunts.
And then quickly before we head off, I've got a would you rather for you. Do you have a would you rather?
You do yours.
Okay, cool. It's Simpsons related as well.
On.
For $1 million, winner takes all. Would you rather versus Homer in a donut eating contest or Barney in a beer drinking contest?
Oh, but I can't drink fucking beer, man. I would probably drink 3 beers and spew on Barney. If I was high enough, I'd go Homer. Like, let's do it. I'd fucking take him. Like,
both situations, we're just going like unlimited. Well, we'll go 20 minutes to eat the most amount of donuts that you can or drink the most amount of beer, and if you vomit, you're disqualified.
Look, I don't think I'd win, but I definitely have to go the donuts because, again, man, I had a beer like a year ago, and I'm like looking at the missus
beer,
like, hey.
Beer is one of the most foul tasting things in the world.
I don't mind the taste of it. I just don't really get drunk anymore. Like,
hate it.
Like, I haven't been drunk for probably 20 years. I just don't really care about it. I got drunk in the UK. That's because there was fuck all else to do there. But even that was only once or twice.
Damn,
and it was
shout out UK.
Yeah, and it was only drunk enough to eat a shitty kebab on the way home and then go to bed.
Sounds like Perth.
Yeah, but, it's not my scene,
Fair. Do you have a would you rather? If you don't, it's totally fine.
Would you rather watch Vesna punch a tiny tattooer in the face or shit in their mailbox?
It wasn't going to matter what the second option was. The first one, I'd pay to see that.
No, the shit in the mailbox is the gift that keeps on giving, though. Like,
nah, I'd still rather the first one.
Why not both?
Yeah, this is true.
Like, there's no rules, bro. Vesna's she's a wild woman. She does what she
She
wants.
is. Don't fuck with the Serbs.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thanks for being on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
You're doing a good thing. Like,
I try my best.
Just letting us talk shit about the things that are annoying us, and we appreciate you. So thanks for having me.
I appreciate everyone in the industry, including yourself. If you want to look at that camera and tell everyone where they can find you, either in person to get tattooed or online to book in with you.
Instagram, Ellis Graham Tattoo. I'm working north Kings Court Tattoo in Currumbine and south at Billingsgate Tattoo in Beaconsfield.
Beauty. That's the way. Check out Ellis. Book in with him for all your Simpsons tattoos or otherwise. Don't go get fucking tiny tattoos.
If you do, expect to turn up on Vesna's fucking story getting roasted by everybody.
And I'll send it to her if I find it first as well.
So. And we're all fucking laughing at you cunts.
Exactly.
So just stop that shit.
And to not book in for a tiny tattoo course, but to support the podcast, please be sure to check it out, fitgpod.com, all socials at FITG_podcast. And yeah, check it all out. There's heaps of content going around. We've got video coming soon with your former studio and homies Billingsgate. Should be coming out soon after this episode. And thank you to the sponsors, SW Laser Tattoo Removal and Industry Tattoo Supply. That's all for this fortnight's episode. We'll be back in another fortnight. Thanks again for being on.
Thank you.
And remember, Simpsons tattoos come and go, but dick jokes are forever.
They are.
See you later.